Good morning to our dearest panels. This is our discussion. The first topic to be discussed is our market study. On product service description, we choose to use fabric scraps and other recyclable materials to avoid chemical produced during the production. We focus on upcycled streetwear, styles of jacket and t-shirts to bring up ethnic division with fair and refinement with various sizes ranging from small to extra large, depends on the body type, height, styles, and their preference. On our market segmentation, we include demographic, which contains of age bracket, gender, life cycle, and income. And on geographic, we only choose Baguio City as our respondents, while in psychographic, we only include their way of living. And lastly is behavioral by asking the question, what is the benefit of buying thrift clothes for them? In this third slide, target market from the total market. In this part, we consider their age group from age 15 to 39 years old. We have 215,805 a total population. The total population for 2022 from ages 1 to 14 years old, they covered 23% of the population. From ages 15 to 39 years old, they covered 56% of the population, while ages 40 above covered 21% of the population. Therefore, this graph shows that most of the customers will be under 15 to 39 years old.
For our four-piece study, we have indicated our pricing strategy, the place of our business, the different promotions we will use in the name of our product. Next is the factors affecting the market. For the demand, it may be affected by the price, taste, or DIY or do-it-yourself. For our supply, the sources of all clothes, machines, and government regulations may affect it. Lastly, for our price, it may be affected by the supplier's price control and inflation. Moving on to the analysis of the data gathered. After gathering and analyzing the data, we are happy because this business will be feasible if we introduce it to the public. The response of our respondents are positive and they are willing to pay for it.
Our vision is ReCrafted Clothing Plus strives to be the leading brand of clean items which promote environmental responsibility by integrating sustainable fibers and environmentally friendly procedures with vintage-style craftsmanship. Our mission is to repurpose closet cast-off while also having substantial environmental effect by producing high-quality items that everyone would value. Our company's objectives are: first is to shift society's outlook from the produce, utilize, and dispose of mentality towards the more sustainable produce, utilize, upcycle, repurpose, and reuse approach. Second is to establish a relationship with our customers and to respond to their needs and interest in the way that meets their expectation. Third is to establish a booming market by empowering craftspeople and promoting them to a more environmentally conscious world. Fourth is to increase revenue by 20% over the next 5 years of operations. And fifth is to reduce the demand for excessive new clothing production and keep old fabrics from ending up in landfills. Next is the form of business ownership. The Crafted Clothing Law regarded partnership as a sort of company ownership in which partners share cost, skills, and other resources, and also share profit in loss in line with the provision of partnership agreement. Another reason we choose partnership is that it is easier to set up. There is a less paperwork and legal procedures to complete, making the process of forming a partnership easier and faster. Here is the organizational chart. We have Roblin Cabanting, John Cares, and Dina Ramirez for business partners, Angelica Agaton as financial manager, John Calamang as operational manager, Lira May Lenshaw as marketing manager, Julian Valdez for quality control, Kim Garuela for audit and bookkeeping, and we also have payroll clerk, tailor, embroidery and printing, sales clerk, and cashier.
However, we have also included their benefits and monthly contribution based on their salaries. For the project schedule, the table shows the sequence and steps of starting the business up to its opening.
The production flowchart indicates how to prepare and revamp the cloths into a fashionable product. Next is the process flow of service and customer operation meets the customer's satisfaction. Production capacity is the operations of ReCrafted Clothing Company will begin by year 2022. There will be 312 working days in a year in the next year of operation. The number of input capacity for jackets and t-shirts will increase by 20% due to expansion. Working schedule is a maximum of 8 hours, which starts on 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Monday to Saturday. Next is the service machine and equipment that indicates here with the amount of 134,222.57 pesos. The production supplies has a total of 36,250 pesos. Next is the office equipment and furnitures has the amount of 251,778.25 in total. And the sanitary supplies has the amount of 27,116.50 pesos. Office supplies has the total of 48,778.70 pesos.
So next would be the building and facilities. For the planned location, the location of the business is located in the heart of the city. The proponents make certain that this location is close to the business that can meet the company's needs and save transportation costs for supplies and goods. The site of the business where the plant would be located is in Marinas Bonifacio Corner in Baguio City, as shown in the image. The proponent chose to rent a site that allows them to launch their business for the least amount of money while also being close to their target market. The site and office floor plans for ReCrafted Clothing Company are depicted in the image to show the relationship between rooms, spaces, and physical elements. For plant layout processing, the company will use product or line layout. The level is divided into 10 sections with 2 comfort rooms. The floor plan was designed so that employees could establish a productive and comfortable work environment. The table depicts our monthly utility expenses, which comprise our company's water and electricity costs. The company estimates a monthly electricity expense of 25,000. The proponents estimated a total monthly water expense of 10,000. Overall, the cost of the utility expense is 35,000 in total. For the waste disposal, the business has examined the necessary amount of waste for production and consumption in order to sustain waste management as a green company. Maintaining efficient waste disposal and resource management will help the company's long-term viability and image.
In socioeconomic study, it will enumerate the benefits contributed by the company. In the employment and income, it will help to reduce unemployment by providing opportunities to those who are looking for jobs, and the company would pay fair and give benefits to its employees. Taxes. The taxes that the company will pay will help the economy in its continuous growth. Supply of commodity. The product that has been made will benefit the economy by bringing creativity and expansion to the area, which may result a high potential for a prosperous market. Demand for materials. The materials for the operation will come from local providers. The business will use local materials from its own region, and it will be able to help the environment by reducing the amount of clothing people toss away.
Environmental impact analysis. We will manufacture upcycled streetwear jackets and t-shirts fashioned from a mix of new and vintage garments. Our raw materials have to be efficient and environmentally friendly in order for the company to lessen its environmental impact. The proponents identify the consequences that may be caused by the project during the renovation and operational phases of the business. Appropriate mitigation solutions are offered to reduce, if not eliminate, the negative environmental repercussions of the impacts. The identification and mitigation of negative impacts will be part of the environmental impact system detailed here on your screen. Here are mitigation measures and methods to consider for several potential environmental consequences. First is the emission of dust and air pollution. Equipment and facilities will be cleared and dust controlled on a regular basis. Second is noise production. We will ensure that there will be a frequent maintenance on our machinery and equipments. Third is individual health, safety, and well-being. We will ensure that our workers will wear proper attire and protection gears based on their positions in the company. Fourth is the utilization of utilities. We will lessen the use of water because our business don't require a lot of water in their operations. And in order to reduce energy consumption, we will ensure that computers will be turned off when it is not used. And we will also ensure that our appliances will be using the correct voltage. And last is the disposal of waste. Here we will ensure that there will be a proper disposal of our waste inside and outside of our business operations.
Before we begin with the financial statements, the project costing is presented. Since different raw materials are required, the selling price for the repurposed streetwear shirts and jackets varies. So the upcycled streetwear shirts cost 270 pesos each, while the jacket cost 360 pesos each. Presented is our projected statement of financial position. So the reporting period ends on 2026 and compare against a similar reporting period from the year prior. So for year 2026, the company's asset total 5.6 million, including current assets and non-current assets. So the firm's accounting policy treats supplies using the asset method, and it is expected that 90% of the supplies would be consumed every year. The liabilities of ReCrafted Clothing Co. has a more than 200,000 in total, and the company retained 1.2 million in earnings during the 2026 reporting period. So from the first year to fifth year, the values are increasing. So raising the amount of money shown on the balance sheet is a good sign that the business is profitable. So a higher amount of owner's equity will increase the overall assets of the company. We have the projected statement of financial performance. So for the report for 2022 shows that the company has a gross profit of 1.6 million for the first year. So expenses from administrative, selling, operating, or depreciation expenses were subtracted from that profit. To this, the 20% income tax based from the CREATE law were subtracted. So the income for the first year, we've noticed that it is low in value. However, the projected statement shows that after each operating year naman, there is still an increase in the profit, thus it is still profitable. So a higher net profit margin means that a company is more efficient at converting sales into actual profit. Next one, the projected statement of changes in equity. So as reflected in the projected statement of financial position, each of the proponents will be allocating a capital of 288,619.50 pesos to cover all the expenses before the actual operation. So the net income shown in the previous slide will be equally distributed to the proponents. So the partners can also withdraw 50% of their shares in the annual net income. Thus, that 50% will be subtracted from the running total to have the partner's equity for the year. So this changes since the net income projected in the statement of financial position also changes. Next is the projected statement of cash flow. This cash flow shows ReCrafted started 2022 with approximately 1.7 million in cash and equivalents after the pre-operation period. The result is that the business ended the year with a positive cash flow of 323,000 and total cash of more than 2 million. So as noticed, the cash flow is positively increasing, and this gives the business more capital to spend on expenditures like a new machine or a second location for the business expansion plan.